Hello class. Hi, Vinay Nishad. Today we are going to see a new chapter, classes as user defined data type. Now, user defined data type, that is a reference data type we are talking about. Either you call a user defined data type, reference data type, non-primitive data type, or non-primitive data type, user defined data type. So these, since they are created by user, they are, till now you have seen primitive data type and non-primitive data type. Now, how this user-defined data type is made? User-defined data type is made by using primitive data type. So, definition for this is the data types, the data types that are based on fundamental fundamental or primitive. These are also known fundamental data type. Primitive data data type are known as composite data type. Now, composite data type, since these data types are created by users, these are also known as user defined defined user defined data types. Since these data types are created by using primitive data type, okay, and they are known as composite data types, since the user create it is known as user defined data type. Now, user defined data type means object will create and objects of the variables we are going to use it. Now, example for this. Example, suppose we have a class time. Okay. Now the time has a two data member instance variable, HRS hours and int min. Okay. Now here two constructor we are having, constructors having the same name as of its class, and here non-parameterized, and HRS assigning 0 and min assigning 0. Another constructor which is a parameterized constructor, int h and int m. HR is equal to h and min equal to m, and this class closed. Now just see this class closed. Now this class how will be used in your program? Suppose I want to add 2 times, and suppose my every time work is that every time I have to add 2 times. So every time I have to write this. Okay. So or many software is that they have a calculation of timing. So every time they have to write this. If this class is made to you, the object will be created in that class, and with that object these variables can be used and they can be easily used. So this becomes a user defined data type. All this variable, this function, constructor is also function, this constructor or any function it is having here, they can be used in another class. How? Just see, another class I'm creating, class test. Now I'm writing void main, since you are using in blue Java, and now to use this class time class into this test class, I have to create a time object here. Or we simply will take t1 time 1 new time, and I'm giving here 5:35. Just see parameter, and just see constructor overloading is there. Differentiation will be done on this parameter. So this constructor will be called, and one time object will be created t1, and which have a HRS and min, because only two instance variables are there, and 5 and 35 will be stored here. Now same, you create another time object T2, new time, and in this you give 235. So another time object T2, 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 and same data member HRS and min will be there, and here 2 and 35. Now suppose I want to add this to time. Now here in class 10 only you have to see how the objects variable you are going to use. So I'm having a h as time, hours, and of this object the hours part, so I'll write object dot HRS. So object dot HRS, so your 5 will be substituted, plus object dot HRS. So object 2 dot HRS, as you're saying ki student 1 open your computer copy and student 2 give me your computer copy. So both is given. The student 1 and student 2 are giving their copy. So object T1 hours part I'm adding here, and hours part I'm adding here. Same way the minute I'll add int min T1 dot min plus T2 dot min. So here in H what came 7, and in min it what came 60 130, no, sorry, 60 70. Now just see, we cannot write as 70 minutes, so it contains a 1 hour. So check if m is greater than equal to 60, this condition is not required, but we'll see in higher classes. 60, then what we'll do, h equal to h plus m divided by 60. Just see, h is 7 and 70 divided by 60, it is 1, so it has become 8, and min equal to m mod 60, and just see m mod 60, it is 10. Okay, now print it. SOPLN time or sum of time equal to h colon m. Let's see, very easily we have used the objects, the data member of this particular class into this particular class. You only have to see how the object variables are used. They are used with the object dot the variable name, object dot the variable name. Okay, these things are not required, only you see how these are assessed. So this is the example, definition and example. Now what is the difference between this two, primitive and what is the difference between primitive data type very important, and user defined data type, composite data type, anything can be written data type. What is the difference between them? Here this is a primitive and this is a user defined. Now in primitive, these data types are built in data type. These data types are built in data types. These data types are built in. Java provides this data type. Java provides these data types. Okay. Now these are built in. 8 built-in data type you have, and they can be used, and Java provide in the language. First point in this, these are created by the users. Okay, they are created by user, or you can say they are created by user using using primitive data type. Primitive data type using primitive data types. Second point, the size of these data type. The sizes of these data types are fixed. You know, byte is of 1 byte, short is of 2 byte, int is of 4 byte, long is of 8 byte, float is of 4 byte, double is of 8 byte, carry is of 2 byte, and boolean is of 1 byte. Their sizes are fixed. Second point in this, the size of these data types of these data types are variables as their sizes depends on upon their constituent members. That means, suppose this we say a data type. Now what will be the size of this data type? When object is created, T1, 4 byte for this and 4 byte for this. So this will occupy 8 bytes. And this also will occupy 8 bytes. So the constituent members, the whatever primitive data types you are having, as many you are using, the sum of all the data types, sum of sizes of all the data type will be the size of that user defined data type. So here two integers are here. So 4 plus 4, 8. And 4 plus 4, 8 for this. Suppose one more double is here. Here suppose one double data type is here. One more you are having double x. So 4 plus 4, 8 and 8. It is 16 byte will be used. Now the third point in this, these data type can be used anywhere. It is the part of Java program. These data types are available in all parts of a Java program. Now, how they are available? You just declare a variable and use it. Anywhere you want that data type, just declare and use it. And the third in this, availability. The availability of these data types depends upon their scope. Yes, it is a class. One class data type cannot be used in another class. So the object has to be used. So the availability will be depending on their scope. So this is the difference. Very important. Many times it has asked in board. Okay, class. Now, two things we have seen. Definition we have seen. Example we have seen. Now we'll see creating and using object. Now we'll see creating and using object. Creating and using objects. Now, first in this, how creating object we'll see. Creating object. Now, how objects are created? It must be very clear in constructor chapter. So suppose what object I have created, the time, the class name, the object name, new time and 5:35. Okay, so in exam also, in board exam, I think 2 year, this like this a line was given and it was asked to explain this line. So how you're going to explain? This is an object creation line where this is a class name, this is an object name, new operator to allocate memory, and parameterized constructor constructor to parameterized constructor to assign value It can be parameterized, it can be non-parameterized. Okay, like this only. If it is asked explain this line, like this only you are going to explain. Okay, now now this each object creation you can using here, each object declaration, you can say declaration or creation statement has three parts. Okay, very easy. We'll see that how it has a three parts. Now first part is declaration. Here declaration do not create object, creates objects, just declares the variable only, or you can say just it declares the variable declares the variable. Okay, for example time t1. If you remember in class 9th, it was taught to you the declaration of variable in two ways. One was declaring like this x, and later on value were assigning like this, two-way declaration. Now this can be done in one way, int x equal to 10. So this is a one-way declaration. Now this one-way declaration we are dividing into three parts. Okay, this is the second part. In this is instantiation. Now how you create instance? With a new operator create an instance means an object. So creating an object, so object will be created with this new operator. Is a Java operator that creates the new object that is allocates memory. Object creation means the memory is allocated. Memory is always allocated when you create an object. When you write an object, it does not allocate memory. When you run your program, it does not allocate memory. Memory is only allocated when you create an object. And the third is initialization. Now how this initialization work? The new operator, the both example we'll see together because one way cannot write. The new operator which we have used, the new operator followed by a new operator, so type is followed by a call to a constructor constructor initializes the new object. Here initializes the new object means it gives a value. Now this value will be taken to there in HR and min, and they will be initialized because a parameterized constructor will be called, and just see h was received here and min was received by this, and just see inside we have done HR is equal to h and min equal to m. So this value will be initialized. For example, time t2 equal to new time, and you can take any 545. So this is a three different way to initialize object. If you are planning to take a computer in 11th class, please understand this chapter very nicely. It will be most useful there. Okay class? Now, this is a creating object. Now using object. Before using object, I think you have noted everything. Okay, if you have not noted, please pause it and you write the definition. Now using object, and before using object we'll see a dot operator. Dot, that is this operator. Now how is this? The dot operator is used, operator is used to refer to members of the object. Now class, dot operator is used to refer members of an object. Now you can tell me how many members are there for the object. Just go through your class 9th book. How many objects are there to the object, or how many members are there to the object? There are only two members, characteristics and behavior. That is a data member and member function. Okay, only two members it is there. So syntax for this will be syntax, how to use, and how to use we'll see later on. Syntax: object reference dot member name. Whatever member name you are, if it is a variable, write the variable as we have seen. T1 dot HRS, T2 dot min, if variables are there. Now the next topic in this, how to use object, that also we'll see. Using objects. Now using objects. Now there are two ways of using object. Either you manipulate an object, either the object can be used to manipulate or to change the variables, or it will be a call to a function. So there are two ways. There are two ways of using using object. Number one, manipulate or inspect object. That means a variable, its variable. Manipulates or inspects its variable. Or second one, call to a function, call its function or method, you can say, call its method. First we'll see referencing and objects variables. Now we'll see how the variables are used, how you are going to use an objects variable. So syntax is object reference dot variable name. For example, t1 dot min, or you can write t2 dot hrs equal to 12. You can assign to the value to the object. This example. Now the next way, the next is, now we have seen how to objects variable can be used. Now calling an objects method, calling an objects method, calling an objects method. Now how objects method you are going to call? Now that will be a, now method are of two types, either they will have a parameter or they will not have a parameter. So the syntax will be objects reference dot method name list of parameters or objects reference dot method name. This is the two way to assess your function. Okay, please write it down. Okay, so assessing. Now we'll see the SS specifier, or SS specifier, you can say the modifier, whatever you have. So remember how many modifiers are there? And so you understood. First, leave SS specifier. First, what we have revised: the definition, the difference we have seen, and how to create an object we have seen, and then how to use the object also we have seen. Now a new topic in this, SS specifier. I think you have not studied in class 9th, so please see it. SS specifier, ACCESS. SS specifier oblique, this is also known as visibility mode. This is also known as visibility mode. Now, what is an SS specifier? What type of SS you provide to your members? Either members can be either a variable or it will be a function. Now, write a definition. SS specifiers control SS to members of a class from within a Java program. And what do you have? We have public. Okay, so how you define this public? How you define public? How you define this public? The public specifier specifier specifiers specifier denotes a variable or method a variable or method as being directly accessible directly accessible from all other classes. This is a bookish language. You can directly say it can be accessed everywhere. The members and the variables, the members can be accessed everywhere. Then we come to private access specifier. What is a private? Everything will be small, private. These are accessible only in the class. So private access specifier denotes the variable or method being private to the class and not used outside the class. So right, access specifier, private access specifier fire denotes a variable or method as belong private to the class as you can have a understand this with a public place and private place, okay, to the class and may not be assessed assets outside the class, okay, or you can say the members, and in your language you can say the members are private to the class, they are not available outside the class, okay. Simply you can write, or the variables or the methods are private to the class and they are not accessible outside the class. Next one is protected. Now how you define this protected? Protected specifier denotes a variable or method as being public, or you can say as being public to subclasses of this class, but private to all other classes outside the current class, current package, you can say package. That means you can say the access specifier denotes the public, they are public to the subclass. That means the protected data members, they are available in the to the different class also, but they are accessible in the same package, but outside the package they are not accessible. And one more, you have a default which you don't write anywhere, suppose you are not writing anything to that, simply you have written like this, so this goes to default. If you want to write public, so you have to write like this, public, you will write like this, public int x. Okay, this is the example, like that. If you want to write a private, then here I am writing example private, you are going to write before that private x, data type x closed. Okay, declaration. And same way, protected, you're going to write like this, protected int p equal to 10. We can do that. And defaults are written like this, simply like that. When no specifier is given to it, it is treated as a default SS specifier. Okay, so this is